And businesses are currently going, hang on a second, what product safety goes? What maternity rights go? The Scottish are saying, oh, what can we choose differently? And we are about to have another 6 months of confusion at the time of recession. And I just say to Jacob, your original idea, let's take to 2026 to get this right so that we can work out where Britain's going to align, because that's good for the economy, where it's going to diverge, because that's good for the economy. But this constant Brexiteering campaigning, let's go again on sovereignty, to hell with it, it all expires at the end of the year. I'm worried that's not the way to realise an opportunity from Brexit. And if you're not careful, my worry, Jacob, would be you're going to lose the backing of most people in Britain who just want this to work and move on.
Well, I'm surprised that Mr. Dankers brought up a ridiculous scare story. Our maternity rights are greater than those in the EU. Anyway, they are UK rights. There is no question that they're going to be removed.
What it is, that's news. That's an announcement. That's not news.
That's not an announcement. Anyone who's paid attention is aware of it. There are 2,400 rules that are listed on a dashboard that can either be repealed or can be turned into UK law, so that we have a single legal system in this country, not dependent on EU law, which is not itself being updated. But I must say, there was a slight irony, I think, in Alistair Campbell, of all people, complaining that politics nowadays isn't as honest as it used to be. One has some memory of what went on when he was in Downing Street, and I think people ought to bear that in mind.
Well, what we've got to do... Jacob, I'm not going to let that go, because if you're talking about Iraq, we had several public inquiries. I was cleared by all of them of any wrongdoing. The day we have a public inquiry, you lot told the campaign, I will enjoy being there.
Let's not... Let's not dwell on dodgy dossiers. We'll pass that over.
Well, you tried it. Just landed yourself in one.
But the deregulation that we need is what the retained EU law bill is all about. And we hear from people who are complaining about Brexit that we haven't got rid of the regulations that we promised. That is what we are in process of doing. In the autumn statement, the Chancellor got rid of 100 tariffs on goods coming in that could be used in manufacturing.
But Jacob,
that is a big
about taking back control, that current control, that process of going through and getting rid or keeping some of them and getting rid of everything else en masse. That's being done in Whitehall. That's why David Davis, a fellow Brexiteer, has such an issue with it, because it's not Westminster taking back control, it's civil servants and ministers.
No, this is simply wrong. David Davis is wrong about this, because anything that is done, this is the point I made at the very beginning, any statutory instrument that comes to Parliament now can be stopped by Parliament. When we were in the EU, whether we passed the statutory instrument or not, it became our law automatically. And if we didn't implement it, direct effect of ECJ judgments meant it became our law anyway. And that is a fundamental difference. Everything that's happening under the retained EU law bill will happen because Parliament wishes it and because there is a parliamentary process around it.
Laws which you're then just going to get rid of without any parliamentary...
We only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to turn to each of you for a final 30-second thought, which, and this is looking far into the future, many today debates hence. Imagine it's the year 2040. Are we in the EU or are we still out? Claire, what do you think?
Absolutely out. And by then, I hope that some people won't be harping on about the past. And by the way, workers fought for maternity rights. Workers fought for workers' rights. The EU didn't give them to us, don't guarantee them. And I hope that ordinary people will organise again to improve their rights. They won't be dependent on Jacob, but at least they can kick him out. When they were waiting on high from the EU to decide, they had no control over that. So let's take back control and mean it. I do.
Tony Danker, 2040, will we be in?
I think we'll probably be out, but I think the guidance for today, whether we're in or out, is the following. Don't try and make Brexit a success. Make Britain a success.
Good.
That's for Remainers and Leavers to do together. It's not for Leavers, Jacob, to do it alone. Put Britain first, not Brexit first, and then if you don't mind me suggesting, you'll definitely have Brexit last forever, because it'll be a project for the whole country, not one section of it.
Hear to that.
Look, I don't know. None of us know. But I'll tell you what I do believe. I think the next generation